这现在阜阳但凡有点良心的单位啊，都不太愿意接受35岁以上的大龄单身女性了。
Nowadays in Fuyang, many reputable matchmaking agencies are reluctant to accept single women over the age of 35. This is because everyone hopes to have a few years of peaceful life without deceiving each other. Recently, when I talked to some older single women, I felt particularly emotional. I often get so angry. For example, a 36-year-old woman came to see me a while ago. She is not tall, about 1 meter 6, with a bachelor's degree, earning 200,000 yuan a year, which is quite capable. However, when I heard her age, I hesitated. But she kept emphasizing that she didn't have high requirements for men and was eager to find a partner, even saying that she had fallen out with her family over this issue, as they had been urging her to get married for years. Seeing her so anxious and positive, I softened and decided to help her as a good deed. At that time, I introduced her to a man with good conditions, about 1 meter 78 tall, with a bachelor's degree, and an annual salary of 150,000 yuan. This guy is considered a good catch in Fuyang. When arranging a meeting, the man asked her where she wanted to meet and when she was available. She said anywhere and any time was fine. The man then set a mutually agreeable place and time, with a quiet environment. Unexpectedly, after receiving the information, the woman said that place was inconvenient for her as it was far from home, and she felt the man was not considerate enough. Regarding the time, she said she had yoga practice at that time and suggested the man change the time. The man agreed and asked her to choose the time and place. She replied, asking the man to decide. The man then suggested Saturday evening and even offered to pick her up. She then said she had plans to go shopping and watch a movie with her best friend that day. This left the man speechless, feeling that the woman was inconsistent. Finally, the woman came to complain to me, saying that the man I introduced to her was not sincere and not genuinely looking for a partner. This incident made me realize again that giving up on clients who are single women over the age of 35 is reasonable. Honestly, reputable agencies are unwilling to take on such clients, even though it could bring in a lot of money, because there are too many problems in serving them, and it's hard to describe.
现在很多婚恋公司其实都拒绝35岁以上的女性。
Now, many matchmaking companies actually reject women over the age of 35. Why? The reality is truly not friendly to them. The fundamental reason they are rejected, I think, is just one thing. Because the men who can meet the requirements of women around 35 or 36 years old can also meet the requirements of women around 23 or 24 years old. From my experience, I have come across quite a few similar clients. Most people are actually quite picky about their partners, and they also think they are very excellent. For example, a 34-year-old woman came to me a few days ago and said she wanted to find a man between 33 and 37 years old. Her requirements are relatively not that harsh, so I also asked the company's matchmakers to try to find some men. One male member's reply left a deep impression on me. He said that his last blind date's mother was only 45 years old. This is indeed the case. Including during our offline events, I often feel inferior by the self-introductions of those excellent gentleman clients. You have to believe that men who dare to go on blind dates must have certain conditions, because men know they must meet the current social economic threshold for men before they will proactively go on blind dates. In fact, many times men can rationally analyze their advantages and disadvantages and see clearly what they really want. But on the other hand, it is not just the matchmaking market and reality that are unfriendly to these women. It seems matchmaking companies are even more unfriendly to them. Because these clients, who are not favored by matchmaking companies, often receive special treatment from some agencies. Why? Because some agencies use fake people to fool them. But the cruel reality is that it is very difficult for these women to find suitable men. Even men of the same age no longer consider them. I am really not selling age anxiety, but if you go and see the matchmaking market in Chengdu yourself, you will understand why. As long as a girl has the intention to get married, whether it's dating or matchmaking, I really advise everyone to do it as early as possible. The older you get, the more unfriendly it is to you.
35岁以上的女生想找各方面条件都好的男生，基本上没可能了。
For women over the age of 35, it is almost impossible to find a man who meets all your criteria. I am not attacking you, I just don't want those girls who are 27 or 28 to face the same predicament in the future. Many girls will say that although they are 38 years old, they look like they are 28. This doesn't mean anything. Really, I am also a woman, and I am very clear about the differences in physical functions between someone in their 30s and someone in their 20s. If you can really spend 7 figures annually to maintain yourself like a celebrity, then you wouldn't be arguing with me on the internet. Instead of waiting for someone with good conditions to marry you, it is better to work hard, save money, and make yourself a person with good conditions. I understand girls' concerns, I understand the pressure of life, you don't want to pay a mortgage in the future, and you also want to provide a good living environment for your future children. These are not wrong. The mistake lies in what you were doing earlier. You played around for more than 10 years when you were young, and now you are almost 40 years old, not wanting to bear the responsibilities of marriage and raising children, yet hoping to find someone to take over. In the past 6 months, I have spent my spare time doing some dating and matchmaking, and I have met more than 1,000 single men in Lebanon. Regardless of their conditions, not a single one of them asked me to introduce them to women over 35. Especially those men with houses, cars, good education, and jobs, I really feel embarrassed to recommend women over 35 to them. These outstanding men are not looking to downgrade through marriage, and I really cannot change their minds. So, older single women, please stop arguing with me. If you still don't believe my sincere words, it only shows that you have problems yourself.
我是一个特别优质的未婚大龄剩女。
I am a high-quality, unmarried older woman. I don't know why I am still single, but I haven't given up. I hope to promote myself online and find a boyfriend. Here is my situation. I was born in 1989, 165 centimeters tall, 50 kilograms, unmarried, with a bachelor's degree. I am originally from Aba in Sichuan, and I currently live in Chengdu. My father was a civil servant but has passed away, and my mother is retired from a public institution. I work in management at a financial institution, with an annual income of 600,000 yuan, and I own 2 properties. I don't smoke, don't drink alcohol, and I can do basic housework. I enjoy classical music, traveling, and keeping pets. I have a somewhat introverted personality. I am extremely serious and responsible about work and have infinite imagination and passion for life. I believe that one should not let themselves down in life. The reason I work so hard is not because I am really short of money, but because I want to realize my life's value. At the same time, I want to meet a man who shares the same frequency, is hardworking and diligent, has similar values, and is willing to appreciate, understand, and tolerate each other. Someone who can share household chores and family responsibilities. I hope he is clean and tidy. He should not be bald, have buck teeth, a big belly, or body odor. He should not smoke. I am not sure how easy this path will be for me, but I am still trying with a hopeful attitude. If I find someone, it will be my fortune and fate. If not, I won't regret it because I have tried my best and made an effort for my happiness. In fact, everyone's life is unknown. We don't know what the future holds, but we live our lives in our own way. Even if I don't find a partner, I will still live well. If I find a suitable partner, that will be even happier. I will use the most sincere and best emotions in my life to cherish the other person. If I don't find one, I will still live well. I sincerely hope to find my other half, and I look forward to encouraging each other, caring for each other, and embracing a beautiful future together.
我长得特别的漂亮，我今年已经呢30把岁了，我一直是单身未婚。
I am very beautiful, and I am already 38 years old, still single and unmarried. Many people ask me, how come someone as good-looking as you is still not married? They think I have high standards and cannot understand why a beautiful girl like me would be an older single woman, unmarried or without a boyfriend. No matter how I explain, they don't believe it. They always think I am an excellent girl. To be honest, I am indeed a high-quality older single woman. Where is my quality reflected? I work hard to earn money. Every day, besides going to work, I just go home. I don't smoke, drink, play cards, dance in public squares, or spend money recklessly. I haven't bought new clothes for nearly 15 years. I have never bought gold jewelry, no gold earrings, necklaces, pendants, bracelets, or anklets. It is really hard to find such a plain and unadorned girl like me in the Northeast. And can you believe it? A beautiful girl like me hasn't bought new clothes for so many years. I have worn my cotton pants for 6 years, the crotch is worn out, and my socks are also worn out, but I haven't thrown them away or replaced them. A high-quality girl like me is about to turn 40. Many people worry that if I keep being picky, I won't be able to get married. Actually, I think there are always many pursuers around a high-quality older single woman. But marriage and love, these are things that only happen once in a lifetime. You must keep your eyes wide open when choosing. After getting married, you shouldn't think about whether you regret it, nor feel that you were blind back then. I decided that after getting married in the future, I will never quarrel with my husband and will work hard to save money to buy a luxury car for my husband. A girl like me who is thrifty, knows how to live, is beautiful, has a good image, can earn money, and is frugal, and is good to boys, is simply too good. After I get married in the future, I will never let boys cook. Because I think boys working to earn money is already very tiring, and they should enjoy life when they get home. However, there is one thing I have to admit. Since about last year, almost no one has introduced me to potential partners. No matter how high quality, excellent, and beautiful I am, people's conclusion is that they dislike my age. They always say that at my age in the marriage market, many boys cannot accept it. No matter how beautiful I am 38 years old and cannot compare to an 18-year-old girl. Moreover, they always think I want to find a tall, rich, and handsome guy, and these guys will choose girls aged 18 to 28, not a 38-year-old like me. This makes me very angry. It is really frustrating. I believe I will definitely find a boy suitable for me, definitely.
很多人都觉得我还挺好看的。
I was born in 1985, and I am already 40 years old this year. Until now, I am still single. Although many people think I look pretty good and don't mind my age, there really are no serious suitors. To be honest, I have always been quite anxious about this. I am already over 40 years old, and in the blink of an eye, I will be 50. Now, thinking about my age scares me. I worry whether I will be very lonely when I get old. But there is nothing I can do about it. Now, I can only work hard and live well in the present.
8年985硕士学历的单身大龄剩女。
I am born in 1988 and have a master's degree from a 985 university. I am 36 years old this year. Recently, I have suddenly found that I can accept dating a man who is divorced with children. This used to be something I was least willing to compromise on. Now I suddenly realize that loneliness is scarier than anything. Recently, I feel as if my world is eerily silent, with not a single sound. It's as if I am afraid to make a sound myself, as though any noise I make would echo and startle me. Moreover, I do not know how long this loneliness will last. I really do not want to be lonely for the rest of my life.
我有一个可怕的想法，我想把我爸给删除了。
I am 34 years old this year. Recently, I have been troubled by the thought of wanting to delete my father. Over the past few days, I have received many calls from unknown numbers, including some distant relatives and even a marriage agency. Just when I was confused, my dad called to tell me that he has signed me up for a marriage agency and suggested that I actively answer the calls, respond to them, and introduce myself. I was very angry when I heard this. I said, I have never been so anxious and frustrated about finding a partner. Why does 90% of the pressure come from you? I am unhappy every day, not because I can't find a partner or because of work problems, but because the constant pressure from you makes me feel internal conflict and pain. My dad was silent for a long time after hearing this, and then told me that he was doing this because he felt very guilty. He felt that he had always rejected opportunities for people to introduce me to potential partners because he thought I was too young to be in a relationship at that time. Now that I can't find a partner, he blames himself, so my dad feels very guilty. My dad is a very face-conscious person, and this is the first time I have seen him begging others for me, even spending several thousand yuan to sign up for this marriage agency. Although I know I have many issues being single, I didn't expect it would cause my dad such a huge psychological burden. I have mixed feelings about him. I understand his emotions and feel sorry for him, but what makes me collapse is that those relatives who called me all say the same thing: you can't be so ungrateful. Your parents have raised you with so much difficulty. How can they sleep if you don't get married? They worry about you every day, their hair is turning grey. Don't you have a conscience? Can you think about them? Even for your parents' sake, you should at least try to meet those men. Although I understand my father's intentions, I really cannot tolerate him constantly telling me that he is old, can't do things anymore, that his hair is turning grey, and that he won't live long. Such words make me feel suffocated and bring a lot of guilt. I don't know how to make him stop pressuring me into blind dates. Why must I get married now? Even if it is just for the sake of marriage, not for myself, but to make my parents feel at ease, to satisfy everyone, and to have no regrets in my life. Is this really a perfect ending?
Recently, it has been reported that matchmakers in many Chinese cities have stopped accepting profiles of women over the age of 36. To explain, the matchmaker profession is similar to that of an agent, relying on successful matches to make money. However, now they have started being selective about their clients, even refusing some who come to them. So, what's the reason behind this? As the number of older singles increases, the matchmaking market has grown exponentially, attracting many people who want to share in the profits. But while the idea is promising, the reality is harsh. Experienced matchmakers have discovered a problem. These so-called excellent older single women are actually quite troublesome. Why? Because they are not as impressive as they claim to be, yet their demands are as high as those of women in their 20s, or even higher. This makes it very difficult for matchmakers to recommend them, and they often get scolded for not providing good matches despite taking service fees. Who can tolerate that? Additionally, besides being difficult to recommend, these women also criticize the men that the matchmakers suggest, complaining about low income, lack of a house or car, or even saying that men over 40 are too old. These older single women don't consider their own age and still act overly picky. Matchmakers are left speechless. At this point, it should be clear why matchmakers refuse to accept their profiles. Simply put, it's because these profiles are difficult to match. Others think these women are too old, and even when someone is willing to accept their age, these women don't like them. It's a vicious cycle, almost impossible to resolve, even for the most skilled matchmaker. I personally understand why matchmaking agencies reject the profiles of women over 36. After all, time and energy are limited, and everyone wants to invest their efforts where it counts. Spending time on these unmatchable, overly picky older women is a waste of time and doesn't make money. After hearing this, what do you think? Do you agree with the matchmaker's decision? Do you think older single women are really that difficult to serve?